Good morning. I'm Jesse Ammett, your host of Valley News Now. And this First Responders Day, we take a moment to recognize and thank our heroes for the sacrifices they make to keep our communities safe. For many, their heroism can have a long-lasting impact on their health. Did you know firefighters and veterans are each twice as likely to develop ALS, or amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, than those who haven't served in these professions? And so today we are joined by retired firefighter and U.S. veteran Ken, who will share his personal story of living with ALS and how others with the disease can help support their community. And Ken is joined by his wife and primary caregiver, Andy. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you so much for having us and allow us to share our story.
Can you share your personal story as a firefighter living with ALS, including some of those early symptoms, Ken?
By all means. I was a Dallas firefighter for 33 years. I retired in June of 2020. That fall, I was in the garage reaching up to the third shelf to get a cooler down, and I noticed that my left arm would not reach up as high as my right arm. I kind of struggled to push it up there, and I was like, well, that's interesting. And I didn't give it much thought, but I noticed it continued, and every time I was reaching up, it was a little bit more difficult. So I contacted my doctor, and that kind of started a series of doctors to go see. All of them initially thought that it was related to having been a firefighter for 33 years.
Sure.
By the time the spring of 21 rolled around, one of the doctors suggested that I go to the ALS clinic, which I did, and did a series of tests with them. And with all that stuff that had been done, I received a diagnosis that I had ALS on November 22nd, 2021.
Wow, that had to be an unforgettable day, obviously.
Yeah, it was. It was an unforgettable day, and I mean, I think I would have been more surprised to find out that I didn't have ALS at that point, because my right arm was beginning to do the same thing that my left arm had done, and so, I just had this feeling. And after the diagnosis, I just kind of went right to firefighter mode, and I started thinking, okay, how am I gonna put the fire out? How am I gonna slow this disease?
Yeah.
What am I gonna do? And by partnering with my doctor and my beautiful wife, Andy, I was able to come up with a plan that worked for me, and I moved forward. And every day I move forward with that plan, just trying to slow the progression and live the best life I can live. And I appreciate, again, you allowing us to share this story.
Oh, we appreciate your willingness to share as well. So, like you said, after you were diagnosed with ALS, you just went into firefighter mode. I love that.
Yeah, I did, and it allowed it. I mean, that's what I do every day. I just get up and I face the day.
Yeah.
And I mean, Andy has to. She says it's a pleasure to take care of me, but there are days I'm sure she has to deal with me. So I would say that it, if it wasn't for her and our family, I mean, I don't know where I would be. But I definitely will let her talk to all of that.
Oh. So, Andy, yes, can you share your experience as a caregiver for a firefighter living with ALS?
Yes. There are days, like he said, they're going to be tough, but it's also a privilege to be able to take care of him. And our children and daughter-in-laws and our grandbabies are all part of it. Everybody, like my boys will push me out of the way so that they can help him with the wheelchair.
Oh.
Everybody wants to be, and you're like, I got this. And I've learned to sit back and say, go ahead. Let them help. If somebody wants to help, even the men and women on the fire department, But with that being said, everybody's experience is different. And so we've partnered with MTPA to share our story. Also, we share your story with shareyouralsstory.com. And on that website, people can share their experiences and their stories. And where we didn't know some things, they don't know some things, but together we can share information, and it's beneficial to both parties or all parties. Ken currently is on Radicava, and while it works for us, there can be risks. So we encourage you to talk to your doctor and make a plan. And then also visit radicava.com, which is radicava.com for full prescribing and patient information. Again, between those two websites, you're going to gather so much information, and you can also ask for advice on those sites too, or bring questions to your doctor based on what you find on those two spots. So learning never ends. Asking for help, don't ever stop asking. Take as much as you can, because trust me, if people are asking, they truly want to help.
Oh, thank you so much for all of that information. I mean, you answered all my questions without me even asking. I mean, such great advice to share your story, no matter what it is, but sharing your story for living with ALS and as a caregiver and a spouse. And you two are fantastic. You look like you have an amazing relationship. So.
We do. She deals with me on occasion, but we have a great relationship. And we joke and laugh and try to make as much fun as we can.
That's perfect. Perfect advice for life, no matter what the circumstances are, isn't it?
Right.
Well, thank both of you so much for being with me today. Again, this is Ken Sutcliffe, retired firefighter, U.S. veteran, and his wife, Andy, and they shared their story of living with ALS. Thank you guys so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much for allowing us to share it.
Yes. And I'm Jessie Ammett, your host of Valley News Now.